So we're gonna do one more session with Zach. We're gonna do a little bit of training, and then we got wins of the week, and that'll be it. So you guys will be out of here early today. But we're gonna be talking today about a bunch of stuff, but higher education is the main focus. So this is Zach Wright. He's a U.S. Air Force Staff Sergeant vet. He is now the Director of Strategic Partnerships at Stanford University. Just a really fascinating guy, and so excited to chat with you, buddy. So thank you for being here. We appreciate you.
Yeah, my pleasure. Really appreciate you having me on. And disclaimer, first thing in the morning for me. I'm haven't had my
You gotta
coffee
pray.
yet, so if I say something stupid, give me like 5 minutes of grace until I get into
Well,
it. And
we appreciate
also,
you getting up early.
no worries at all. No worries at all. Most of what I do is for the vets here at Stanford. I work with the SUA, they're our veteran group. But I'm trying to work some of the transfers as well, seek out opportunities, internships, things of that nature for those guys. Yeah, we could talk about whatever, wherever the
Nice,
conversation leads. So I'll wait for
awesome.
Jordan to get us started.
Well, the crew here, these are all transitioning service members, so they're just getting ready for their next act. They're in this in Skillbridge right now and trying to figure out what their next move is. I know a lot of them are considering higher education, so we can talk a little bit about that and what your opinions on it. But tell everyone a little bit about your time in the Air Force and what that experience was like for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So let's see. Yeah, I mean, you covered the majority of it. I was staff sergeant in the Air Force. My last year, I got to be a military instructor, which was easily the coolest thing I got to do. That was fantastic. I worked on injection seats before that, so making sure everything exploded in the right order. I don't know if I have any more Air Force B1 guys in the house, but that was an interesting period for sure. Egress guy. Yep, there it is. There's always one. Uh, so yeah, that was me until I got out here in COVID, and the world was upside down. Thought things would turn out one way, and they turned out a very different way. I had to completely rework my plans multiple times, and during COVID was a time of stagnation for many, but a time of change for me. So I moved twice, trying to find the right opportunity. That's something I'll touch on today is that your success is often going to be correlated with the geography and where you live. You can be the best at what you do, but if you do it in the wrong place, you're not going to be successful. At least not as successful as you would have been otherwise.
Hmm.
So that was a lesson I had to learn the hard way more than once. I'm a little stubborn, so sometimes you have to hit me with the hammer a few times before I get the message. But I got it in the end. So one of my goals today is to make sure I'm able to express that well, so you guys don't have to get hit with a hammer more than once, or
That's
hopefully at
great.
all.
What was your transition like? I know you did some biz dev, some sales jobs when you got out, but did you know what you wanted to do? Was it a stressful time?
Still trying to figure out what I want to do when I grow up, to be honest. Uh, but yeah, it was. It definitely was. I was receiving a lot of input, maybe too much input. A lot of people telling me what they thought I should do, and I know I'm pretty big into mentorship. I wanted to try to hear what everyone had to say, but in the end, I realized that I have to make a decision for me. So I decided to lean into my skills. My skills are soft skills. I'm not a math guy. You put anything computer science related in front of me, I'm going to scream and run away. But I can talk all day long. I'm an English guy. Let's do it. Like I can, as you'll see today, you're like, does this guy ever shut up? And the answer is no. But that's okay because, well, for me, it's okay. For you guys, you're out of luck. But for me, I was able to leverage that into a pretty important position a few times. I ended up doing sales in DC, which is arguably the hardest place in the country to do sales. We used to say when you're out there in Northern Virginia and DC, you guys from New York come down like, oh, I'm gonna kill it here. We say, I hope you kept your lease because it's not how you think it is. Oftentimes, just because you're from somewhere competitive, I mean, this pond is no less competitive. Oftentimes, it's more competitive. So knowing where you are, knowing what you're good at, knowing how to leverage it is absolutely crucial. In the military, we call that intel, but you know that never stops being important. And another I don't want to get too far in. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. I'll wait for Jordan to see if he's going to prompt me again. Otherwise, I'll just talk the whole time.
So, all right, so you did the sales path for a little bit, and then tell me if I have this right. Were you a horrible student in high school? And
Oh
then you said,
gosh,
I want to get a
yeah.
degree. I want to
I,
go that
I
path now. Talk a little about that because I think it's
yeah, for
fascinating that
sure.
did not
Oh,
do
I
well
appreciate it.
academically, and then you end up at the top school in the country. So tell everyone how that happened.
So I outed myself pretty badly recently. I went on the Service to School podcast, and I'll touch on them again later. I graduated high school with a 1.4 GPA. 1.4. Right? That is about as bad as it gets because I didn't care. I think it applied to me. Because I didn't find it interesting. I didn't think I was ever going to go to higher education. And it definitely made some things difficult for me. But getting out changed some things, changed my perspective. I see some of these guys who are doing the job that I want to do. I think I want to do that. I want to do what they're doing. And what they all had in common were the skills required to succeed in their industry. And not always, but frequently, they needed that little piece of paper. So I saw that and I realized I need that dumb little piece of paper. It's probably not going to teach me anything, but I guess I need it. But again, 1.4 GPA. So how is that going to work? So I had to go ahead and go back to community college first. I started at Northern Virginia Community College. I took it very seriously. I took what I learned in the military, I applied it, and I got a 4.0. Nothing but A's the whole time I was there. And I applied everywhere. And, just, I definitely overdid it with the applications because I had no idea who was going to accept me. I applied to schools with 90% acceptance rates. I applied to schools with single digit acceptance rates. Because I think Jordy touched on, I'm a student here at Stanford as well. I'm one of the transfers from this year's cohort, and the acceptance rate was less than 1%. It's really tough. And the people I'm here with are Olympic athletes, 30 under 30, just brilliant, brilliant people. And I've had a few times a conversation with this director, Ingrid. She's in charge of transfers. I said, Ingrid, I feel like an imposter. What am I doing here? And she's like, Zach, shut up. You know, all right. Like you are here for a reason. We chose you for a reason. Look at what you did. Look at what you did. Look at where you came from. Never forget that. Never take that for granted. It's formulaic in the sense that you can tell someone what to do, and if they follow the steps, they're more likely to get where they want to go. But doing that is on the individual. I can give you all the best advice in the world, but if it sucks, you don't want to do it. It's going to be useless.
Can you talk about because I'm sure when you were interviewing to be admitted into Stanford, it's a similar process than get going on a job interview. What do you think you said that they said, I'm going to take the kid with the 1.4 GPA in high school?
I think people find honesty refreshing, especially in these environments where everyone is the one, oh, say the right thing. I have to say the perfect thing. I have to, what do they want to hear? And there's an element to that that's relevant for sure. But if you rely on that entirely, you're going to fail because you're going to sound like every other idiot that is trying to do the exact same thing. And you have to be your own idiot. You have to tell your story because that is the only thing you have that is distinctly yours. And right now you're thinking that's so cliche. Oh, just tell my story. No, listen to me. That's what you have. That is yours. That will make you stand out. Lean into the more distinct, unique aspects of that. Be aware of what makes you you. That's what they want to hear. If they just read another cookie cutter essay or hear another cookie cutter interview, they're just going to forget about you as soon as the interview ends. And they're not going to call you back. Don't do that. Lean on your military experience. That's something that very few people have. That's a major selling point. So don't be bashful about it. Be shameless about it. Say, yeah, I was in the military. I did X, Y, and Z, and look at what I did with that. Look at what it made me into. You have to do that, or no one else is going to advocate for you. You have to be your own best advocate.
When did you develop that confidence though? Because I imagine you entered the military feeling like I'm sort of like this high school kid who didn't excel. It probably took a
Yeah.
while. When did that come to be able to go, just even apply to this? I know Stanford was just one of many of the Ivy Leagues that, or that you got into some other Ivy Leagues as well. But like, what made you get the courage up to do that, as opposed to doing a path where most people would say, "Oh, let me just settle down here."
Sure. I learned a bit of that in sales, honestly. I had a mentor, EK, Eric Klein. He's a brilliant man. He's a ruthless salesperson, just bloodthirsty. And he's so good at what he does. And he'd always told me, Zach, you're being too nice. Go for the no. And he explained that going for the no meant get someone, if you want something, if I want to get, I'm trying to break into this business, right? So I'm at Addison Group in DC, and I want to go break into Syncora. I don't think anyone wants to break into Syncora. But if I wanted to break into Syncora, and they're like, no, we don't want to talk to you. EK says, all right, you get a no from all these people, everyone along the whole chain, get them to say no to you because otherwise you didn't really try.
Mhm.
All right. So I took that and I found everyone who was involved in decision making processes. I talked to every single one. And the worst they can say is no. And that's what he's trying to get at. That's the point. Is you can get a yes or you can get a no. But if you don't get a no or a yes, then you didn't really try.
Yeah.
So I decided when I was applying for these universities, I needed to go for the no.
Did he freeze for others too? Is he frozen for you guys?
For me, they
Yeah,
can
yeah,
tell
it's
me
frozen.
to
There we go. We got you. All right, we
just
got
use
you back.
military language on this or no? Oh,
Yes.
can you hear me?
Yeah, we got
Oh,
you.
super. Anyway, just you
Yeah,
miss every shot you don't take. So
yeah.
I decided to take
Great
those
advice.
crazy shots. I applied to a bunch of the Ivies on the East Coast, applied to Stanford, and I got into a bunch of them. It was no one was more surprised than me, I promise. Uh, yeah, I got in here, Dartmouth, Cornell, a few others. I couldn't believe it. I absolutely couldn't believe it. But I would have gotten into absolutely zero of those if I didn't go for the no. I would have ended up
Right.
going to a mediocre state school, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You can go that route and live a wonderful life. But I'm competitive, so I wanted those big shiny stars, and I
Can
got
I
them because I
can
went
I
for the no.
can I put you on the I want to put you on the spot. If how
Yeah,
would you have how did you answer this question when one of these admissions reps said to you, "Why should we admit you?"
yeah,
What
for
did you
sure,
say?
for sure. It's usually a bit more targeted than that. Uh, they'll talk about a specific aspect. I'd like to ask you questions like, tell me a problem that you overcame. Tell me a time that you disagreed with someone. How did you handle it? Tell me about a time that you grew, uh, stuff like that. Um, so it's kind of difficult to answer all the difficult questions at once, but anticipate lots of difficult pointed questions that will make you introspect. That's what they do. They want you to sit while you're writing that essay and be a little uncomfortable. They want you to do some soul searching. And sometimes, especially after a rough military tour, that's the last thing you want to do, but you have to do it.
Yeah. Tell everyone what it's like to be at Stanford. Like, what's that environment like, and
Yeah.
what do you do there with the other vets on campus as one of the leaders?
Yeah, absolutely. Stanford's weird, man. I'm an East Coast guy. Now, I'm not sure how many Californians are in this chat with me. Probably a lot of you considering the time. It's just strange. It's so strange. No, that's not Stanford specific, I don't think. But I'm used to wearing suits, and that's what you do when you're on the East Coast and you're working professionally. And in these places, you're much more likely to wear suits and have a tie. Man, I showed up to one event out here in a suit and tie, and they looked at me like I just stepped out of a spaceship. They're just like, "What is this guy doing?" So I've had to learn some of the little nuances. Uh, the do's and the don'ts, they're totally different as far as how people interact with one another. But Stanford's weird, man. I think of it as the land of opportunity within the land of opportunity. Everyone out here has their own startup or just any kind of business or opportunity venture, whatever you want to call it. And there's never been a better place for me to put myself out there and get what I want as far as conversation and connection and networking. Because a lot of these people, they have the hard skills. They have the, oh, I just coded my own like LLM. Like that's insane. That's crazy. Why don't you look up and you talk to people? I just don't know how. They hit you with a computer science stare. So I realized pretty quickly that my niche here was leveraging my soft skills and trying to be the bridge that can connect A to B, B to C. Because oftentimes is the people that these people are hoping to work with and need to work with, the vets especially, they're right beside you. You just don't know it. It might be your professor. It might be the kid sitting in class behind you. Just so you don't know until you have that conversation. I think with the vets in particular, we get a bit caught up in the whole chain of command mentality. Oh, I have to, do things the right way. I want to apply for this job. I need to just go ahead and get my resume in and put it on the stack and pray that it works out. Fuck that. Don't do that. Reach out directly to the decision maker. That's what I tell these guys. You need to be your own advocate, right? So reach out to the decision maker. Say, hey, here's who I am. Here's why I'm better than whoever else is applying for this position. Advocate for yourself. And that's true in business, it's true in life, it's true in love. You have to put yourself out there to succeed. Otherwise, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, that's great advice. And I heard that you impressed them so much, they gave you a free ride. They told you don't even use your GI Bill. We got you. And this is probably, I don't know what Stanford 300 grand. I don't know what it costs to go there. I imagine it's in that ballpark.
Yeah, it's a
That's
lot for sure. To be honest, I don't know how much it costs either because they said don't worry about it, which is pretty crazy.
yeah.
Because 1.4, remember? But yeah, they said save that GI Bill. We don't need it. We want you. Get over here. That definitely
That
made
must
made
have
the
been
choice
incredible
for
for
me.
you. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
I'm to be honest. I still haven't fully processed that.
yeah.
But yeah, two of
How
the.
many, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead, Jordan.
Oh, how many? So what's the veteran population like at school? Like, do you guys get together? Is there a resource group or?
There are two groups right now. That's pardon me, for the undergrads. We have SUAV, so it's the undergrads, and then OMAC, which is the off military affiliated communities. That's like vets, spouses, everybody. So think of OMAC as like the big umbrella, and then we have a few different organizations within that. But SUAV is the Stanford Undergraduate Association of Veterans. That's who I'm working with primarily, SUAV, and I work with OMAC a bit as well. But there are also graduate schools that have vets, but it's a small community, man. It's not big. It's not a big community. I think this year they let in for all the undergrad, they let in 11 vets.
Wow.
So it's not nothing, but considering
It
this
should
is
be more. It should be more though, man. I mean, I don't know.
yeah. I mean, they only let in 90 transfers, so that was it. And that was the biggest class they've let in a long time. So I mean,
Wow.
it was more than 1 out of 9 of us was a vet, which is cool. But
Yeah.
just considering how big this school is, man, it's like we have
Yeah.
our get-togethers. It's like there are 20 people. That's pretty good, you know. And so it's important to definitely prioritize your community. And if the military identity is very important to you, then show up. Show up for your events. If your school or organization doesn't have one, make one. If there are only
Yeah.
two vets, who cares? You guys go out and get coffee. Maybe someday they'll be free.
Good advice. What are you studying? Tell everyone a little bit about what you're learning and studying there for yourself. Where do you envision your career going?
Yeah, I'm actually in a bit of an in-between point. When I got here, I wanted to be a lawyer because again, I can talk all day. I love to argue. It's my favorite thing in the world. And I don't think I want to do that anymore.
Mhm.
Stanford's encouraged me to take a bunch of other classes outside of my field. When you transfer in your first year, you can take whatever you want. It doesn't have to pertain to your degree. They're just like, go crazy, have fun, figure out what appeals to you. So I took the relevant classes for law, and I hated it. I hated it. It wasn't me. I just I didn't vibe with it. I did well. I'm finished the quarter with all A's. I'm pretty sure. I get my finals back in a few days, but the classes were A's up until then, and I felt good about them. So we're gonna roll with it and try to wish that into existence, all A's. But I'm looking to pivot into an MBA. I think is going to be a little more my speed. There's so much I want to do.
Yeah.
If any of you guys added me on LinkedIn, you'll see that I did that Service to School podcast, and I talked a good bit about what I want to do for veterans. Uh, Veteran Sherpa is my own initiative that I'll be launching pretty soon for vets, and I'm going to hope to work with Jordy pretty closely on that. He's the man. He knows how these things work, and I think the more resources we have available to us, the better, especially in
Yeah.
this crazy world.
Tell everyone about Sherpa and what you're gonna do.
Sure, sure, absolutely. My idea with Sherpa, if any of you are familiar with Boots to Business, they're a great organization, and there are a few others, but there is no organization that has all the resources 100% just because our resources are so decentralized. Seven Eagle Group has a bunch of fantastic resources and fantastic mentorship, but there's just too many for any one group to keep track of. So my goal is to be the guy people come to. Say one of you here in the chat says, "All right, I have this great idea. I'm gonna invent the Stanley Cup." Great, sounds good. Let's do it. What's stopping you from doing it? And we identify obstacles. We identify what your resources are. You're a disabled veteran. Great. That means uh, your federal companies are going to buy a bunch of X number of cups this year. Since you're a disabled vet, we have this new product. You get priority on federal contracts. You live in what county? They have what opportunities for veterans? Great. We're going to take these local and state grants, things of that nature, things that people just don't know about. My goal is to be the guy people come to, and I make shit happen. That's what I want to do. But it'll be probably a year or two down the road. I need to gather the gang a bit more. I've got a few people on board here who are very enthusiastic about it, which I really appreciate. But people at Stanford are busy. I think starting that right now would be a disservice. I'm gonna give that a little bit more runway space. But when it does come out, everyone make sure you follow me on LinkedIn. That's where I make most of my announcements. That's where I'm active.
Yeah,
I'm
put
not
your
sure if
link
Jordan's.
in there, or if someone can throw his link in for us, so you guys can
Yeah,
connect
I,
with him.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Can
If someone would do that, it would be perfect.
Zach, what for those who are weighing the decision of like, do I go back and get a degree? Do I just go right into the corporate world? What were some of the what were some of the decisions you sort of grappled with, and what advice would you have for folks, whether they go to a community college or whether they go to a 4 year or get a business degree or whatever?
The most important item on the checklist of knowing what you want to do and how you want to do it is knowing yourself. Who are you? Why are you doing it? What are you good at? And why are you going to succeed? And if you can't answer that confidently, then maybe you need to reevaluate what you're doing. And you need to base your plan around that. If I gave all of you the exact same advice, a few of you would probably do great, but the rest of you would be like, that didn't apply to me. Why is he telling me this? Why is he wasting my time and his own time? Every plan, every collection of resources, mentorship needs to be individualized. We are all so distinct. We have had different walks of life. We have different skill sets. Leverage what you're good at. And that doesn't necessarily mean, oh, just purely follow your passion, because that doesn't always work out. But find out what your talent is. Lean into your talent, lean into what you're good at. And if that doesn't make any money, then become passionate about something else. It might not be fun to hear, but it's a tough world. It's competitive. Things are expensive. Groceries are expensive. You have to provide for yourself. You have to provide for your family. But the more that you can lean into what you're good at, the less you'll have to smash your head against the wall trying to make yourself into something that you're not. So identify your talents, identify what you think you can sit down and do for 40 hours a week, 50 hours a week, and make that your passion.
Do you recommend people for if they do not have a college degree yet and they want to get one, whether it's community college or 4 year, should they double up and work and do that in their free time or commit
Yes,
100% to school?
yes. Community college is such a fantastic first step. That completely turned my trajectory around. When I was doing okay, I had a corporate sales job, but I very quickly realized that everyone above me had one thing in common: that piece of paper. And I was the only guy in an office of 90 people who didn't have that piece of paper, which was, I mean, kind of cool in its own way, but the novelty wore off, and I realized that I wasn't going to get promoted. So it's much better to have it and not need it than to not have it. There are definitely some skills you can learn through college. Uh, I have some conflicting views on this. I don't want to contradict myself. If you don't need it, you don't need it. Good. If you have the skills that you need, the talent, you have everything that you need to succeed without it, forget it. Do what you need to do. Start that business. Start working for that company. That's great. But if you think you're going to need it, just do it. Don't wait.
And
The
do it
longer you
full
wait, the
time or
harder
do
it
it
is.
part time? What do you think is the better route for
Totally up
people?
to the person. So I'm on 100% disability. So I was able to do it full time. I'm very fortunate. But some of our brothers and sisters aren't in that position. And
Yeah.
you have to do that and work. It's doable. It's definitely doable, but it's going to take you a bit longer. Make sure you give it the space that it deserves. Just to touch on what Jordy said again, if you are able to do it full time, do it full time. If you are able to do it part time, do it part time. If you're able to skip it, skip it. It's going to be
Mhm.
totally different for every individual. But no matter what you do, take it seriously. Don't half ass it. If you take it full time, make that your full time job. Make that your full time passion. If you take it part time, then those hours that you're devoted to school are for school. Tell the kids that daddy's busy. You need to go watch Bluey. I'm busy. I have to do this. Someone else is going to have to walk the dog for the next 2 hours. I'm locked in doing what I got to do. You have to make it your top priority, or else it's going to slip and you're not going to get what you want out of it.
Yeah,
Especially if what you want is a platform to higher education uh, as your next step.
right. Can you touch, Zach, on networking, right? And how
Yeah,
important that is
yeah.
to a new veteran in building the network and meeting people and
Yeah, networking is absolutely, as a veteran especially, it's everything. In this crazy world, we don't like to talk to each other anymore. But having the military affiliation has opened so many doors for me, even in the corporate world. As in DC, I walk into someone's office, God, it's a fucking sales guy, and I see something on their wall. It's military. 5 minutes later, we're best friends. Leverage that. Use that. You absolutely have to use that. It is one of the most valuable tools in your toolkit. But not just military specific, networking in general. Try to be more of an extrovert. Try to put yourself out there. And I hate LinkedIn, by the way. I hate it. But I'm on it a lot because it's important for what I want to do, what I am doing. So when I said add me on LinkedIn, that wasn't just self promotion. If you don't have a LinkedIn, you need to make one. It is absolutely crucial for finding the right people, making the right connections, and forcing yourself into those positions that they might not think that you're right for, but you want to prove them wrong. Use LinkedIn to get yourself into that conversation.
so even if you're an introvert, you're awkward, you gotta get out there and have conversations with people. It leads to opportunity. Love it.
Absolutely. It's like we said earlier, you miss every shot you don't take. So
Yeah.
throw as many up and see what happens.
No, I love it. And if you're going to take a shot, take a big one like you have. I think it's great. Zach, this was so awesome, man. I
So
can't
much.
thank you enough for coming to share a little bit of your story. It's truly inspiring to me to hear. And I love hearing stuff like this. So we wish you all the best, man. Hopefully you'll come back in a few months again when we have a new class. But thank you for sharing everything with the men and women here.
I really appreciate it. Everyone, thank you for what you've done, for what you are doing, what you have done. And Jordy, thank you for being awesome, man. I love talking to you. You're the best.
I appreciate that, buddy. Thank you so
All right,
much.
everyone. Take care.
All right, guys. So